Tracy Beaker's Thumping Heart by Jacqueline Wilson. It all started on St. Valentine's Day. I'd never bothered about February 14th before. I don't go in for all that lovey-dovey slop. I certainly don't go a bundle on those sentimental satin hearts and huggy teddies and fat pink Cupid babies with wings. I'm Tracy Beaker, okay? Enough said. I live in a dumping ground. It's actually a children's home for looked after kids. Ha! You only end up here if you're not looked after. It isn't a home at all. It's definitely a dump. I'm only there on a temporary basis, of course. My mum's coming for me soon. Just you wait and see. I know she misses me every bit as much as I miss her. It's just that she's otherwise engaged, holed up in Hollywood making movies. Justine Know-Nothing Littlewood says I'm making it all up, but you don't want to take any notice of her. I just have to flash my special photo of Mum, and it's perfectly obvious she's a film star. She's got lovely blonde wavy hair and big blue eyes and shiny pink lips. She's the prettiest woman I've ever seen in my life. Even Justine Argy-Bargy Littlewood doesn't dispute that. So how come she's got such an ugly little squirt for a daughter, Justine said, jabbing at the photo, poking the baby Tracy right in the tummy. I'm in my mum's arms, cuddling up to her. I look cute as a button, all smiles with tiny tufts on the top of my head. I'm not quite as cute nowadays. I generally glare rather than grin, and my curls have exploded all over so that I resemble a fuzzy floor mop. However, I am still much better looking than Justine bulgy-eyed bullfrog Littlewood. I might not be a raving beauty, but I have character. People say this all the time. I once had a social worker who was forever calling me a right little character. I'm not sure how my current social worker, Elaine the Pain, would refer to me. I would possibly have to delete some expletives. I have an amazing vocabulary and often use long words. Expletives are rude words. I often use them too. I won't need a social worker when my mum puts in an appearance, obviously. I expect this will be very soon. The moment she's finished her mega movie commitments. Those Hollywood moguls are certainly keeping her busy, as she hasn't written to me for ages. I've got Mike and Jenny, who work at the dumping ground, on red alert for any phone calls from my mum. I often ask if she's phoned. Every day. Sometimes 2 or 3 times. They always sigh and say, "No, sorry, Tracy," in this exasperated way. Exasperated is a posh word. It means people getting fed up with me. Folk are frequently exasperated when they deal with me. It's not my fault. If only they wouldn't be so mean and give me my own mobile, then I could make my own phone calls, no problem. A mobile is a bare necessity of modern life, for goodness sake. I think it's outrageous that none of us kids in the dumping ground are allowed one until we're officially teenage. And even then, it's a bog-standard pay-as-you-go embarrassment. Even Adele is limited to this type of manky mobile, and she's the oldest and coolest girl in the dumping ground. She's going to get her own flat soon. She's forever making plans for how she's going to furnish it and what she's going to do there. It's going to be party time every night of the week, she says. I hope she invites me to her parties. Adele is my favourite at the dumping ground. We hang out together lots. Okay, she gets a bit exasperated with a capital E when I experiment with her makeup and try walking in her amazing high heels. She has even been known to say, "Jolly well clear off, Tracy blooming Beaker," or expletive words to that effect. She's only kidding. She totally appreciates my company. In fact, she frequently begs me to be her best friend. I might capitulate. Very posh word for give in. I very, very rarely capitulate. I am one tough cookie who knows her own mind. I used to be best friends with Louise. She's the prettiest kid here, with big blue eyes and long fur curls. She's almost as pretty as my mum. She looks just as sweet as sugar, but she's actually sharp as knives. We used to have such fun together until Justine Poach My Pal Littlewood came along and stole her away from me. Of course, I could always get Louise back again as my best friend, easy peasy, but she's lost her chance. I don't want her now. Adele is much more fun. Lots of people think so too. This was abundantly obvious on Saturday morning, Valentine's Day. We were all sitting having our breakfast at the long table in the kitchen. The little kids were all strapped up into their high chairs at one end, waving their soggy rusks and spooning up their mashed banana. Maxie was kept up that end too. He's big enough to sit on a bench with us, but you need to keep way clear of him when he tucks into his cornflakes and slurps his orange juice. He doesn't just spill. He's such a greedy little beggar, he gollops it all down too quickly, chokes, and then spurts it all out like a fountain. Not a pretty sight. The rest of us kids with passable table manners cluster together. I always used to sit beside Louise, but now Justine jabbing elbows Littlewood does her best to make me unwelcome. I generally sit next to Adele, and Weedy Peter nudges up to my other side more often than not. I haven't mentioned Peter up till now, though he actually plays an important part in this story. This is surprising, because if you saw a photo of all us kids in the dumping ground, you'd find him the least significant. He's this weird little geeky kid with big eyes like Bambi and arms and legs as spindly as spaghetti. He's always clutching a soggy, lacy hanky in his little paw. It used to belong to his nan, who looked after him until she died, and little Pete got dumped alongside us. He hangs onto it like it's his cuddle blanket. It's soggy because he's frequently in tears. He's much too old for all this namby-pamby sniffles. He might only look about 6, but he's my age. Exactly my age. He has the cheek to have the same birthday as me, so we have to share a birthday cake between us. We might share our star sign, but we have nothing in common. I never cry. I didn't even cry when Louise went off with Justine, and they stole my totally private diary and wrote ludicrous lies all over it. I didn't so much as whimper when my mum forgot to send me a present last birthday. Correction. Of course she sent me a present. Loads of them. A karaoke kit for definite, and maybe my own mobile, and a little laptop and an iPad, and a genuine cowboy hat and new football boots, all sorts of stuff. But they somehow got lost in the post, stolen before I could lay my hands on my parcels. But I still didn't cry. I might have the odd attack of hay fever, which everyone knows makes your eyes stream, but I never cry. I know you don't ever cry, Tracy, says Peter. You are so brave. He isn't taking the mickey. He idolizes me. This is somewhat irritating. He trots round after me and hangs on my every word no matter what. I don't want him acting like my little shadow. I frequently tell him to shove off. But then his little white face crumples up and he has to mop his big eyes with his nanny rag. This is an infuriating ploy. It makes you feel mean, and then you have to be sweet to him to stop him blabbing. I'll offer him a bite of my Mars bar, or I'll teach him a new naughty word. Or if I'm really feeling kind, I'll tickle him under his scrawny little arms. He'll nibble at the Mars and gasp at the rude word, and squeal when he's tickled and tell me that I'm the best kid in the dumping ground. In our town, in our county, in our country, in our world, in our own ultra-extensive universe. I just nod and go, yeah, because I know this already. I'm Tracy Beaker, right? So Peter was sitting next to me at breakfast on the 14th. He nudged up close so he was practically sitting in my lap. Give us a bit of elbow room, Peter, I said, giving him a shove. Sorry, Tracy, he said, but he wriggled even closer so that his mouth was right next to my ear. I want to ask you something, he said, his whisper tickling terribly inside my ear. What? I said loudly, rubbing my ear. Shh, it's a secret, said Peter. I sighed. Peter was forever telling me secrets, and they weren't very exciting. He'd confide in enormously embarrassing stuff, like he sometimes wet the bed at night, as if he imagined this wasn't obvious to everyone, seeing as he wandered around the house half the night, trailing damp sheets like a waterlogged ghost. Tracy, it's the 14th of February today, Peter whispered. That's not a secret, I said. It's Valentine's Day, Peter persisted. That's not a secret either, I said, exasperated. Tracy, will you be my Valentine, sweetheart? Peter whispered. What? Oh, yuck, Pete. I don't believe in that sentimental slush, I said. I do, said Peter. Oh, Tracy, please say you will. He blinked at me with his big Bambi eyes. Justine Big-Nose Littlewood was peering in our direction, looking inquisitive. Okay, but shut up about it now, right? I hissed. So that's a yes, said Peter, kicking his legs jubilantly under the table. He just happened, quite by wondrous chance, to kick Justine Daddy-Long-Legs Littlewood right in the shins. Ouch! Justine shrieked. Well done, Peter, I said. I gave him a congratulatory clap on the back. He nearly shot across the tabletop. Maxie stopped slapping cornflakes and shrieked with delight. He choked with predictable results. Simmer down, kids, said Jenny. This is worse than feeding time at the zoo. Yeah, me a wild animal, said Maxie, scratching himself vigorously and snatching a plate of mashed banana from one of the babies, who started howling. Behave, you lot, said Mike, wielding his big wooden spoon, pretending to rap all our knuckles. There was another rap at the front door, an important rat-a-tat-tat. I felt a familiar clutch at my chest. I always wondered if it could possibly be my mum come calling for me at long last. All the noise of the room faded, and I heard the thump, thump, thump of my heart. Then Jenny came back into the kitchen with a huge pile of post in her arms. It was the postie, she said. Hey guys, Valentine's cards. The babies went on spooning their banana. Maxie elaborated on his animal imitation, but the rest of us sat upright, twitching. I suddenly got it. It was a competition. Who was going to get the most Valentine's cards? Jenny was sorting through them all, giggling, especially when she found a card addressed to herself. Mike had a card as well, a big funny one that played a silly tune when he opened it up. I stared at the rest of the cards in Jenny's arms. She doled them out. One for Justine Absolutely Ugly Littlewood. Who on earth would send a Valentine's card to her? She seemed thrilled with it too, reading the dumb verse over and over and stroking the glittery silver heart on the front. Who's it from, Justine? Louise asked. I didn't know you had a boyfriend. What's his name? Look, he signed it. I'm not telling. It's a secret, said Justine Smug-Git Littlewood, clapping her card to her chest. You haven't got a boyfriend, not unless he's blind and stupid, I said fiercely. I bet you sent that card to yourself. No, I didn't. Sour grapes, nobody loves you, Beaker, said Justine Smugbug Littlewood. Take no notice, Tracy, Peter whispered right in my ear. She's talking rubbish. I love you. I'll make you a special Valentine's card. I couldn't concentrate on Peter and his tickly whisper and his offer of a crayoned card. I reached right over the table and snatched Justine's card. I only saw it for a second before she snatched it back, acting outraged, but it was enough time to read the message and the signature. It wasn't from a boyfriend at all. The card said, To dear Justine, Happy Valentine's Day, love from Dad. I felt as if I'd been stabbed in my stomach. It wasn't much better than a card from a stupid boyfriend. I didn't even have a dad. Not that I cared. I had a mum, and she was all that mattered to me. Had she sent me a Valentine's card? I waited while Jenny went on dealing them all out. Louise got one. Louise got another. Louise got 3. They were all from boys at school. They were all nuts about her. She kept giggling, pink in the face, so pleased. Hey, Louise has got 3 Valentines, look, crowed Justine Braggalot Littlewood. Louise has got more Valentines than anyone else, so that proves she's the most popular girl here. Not absolutely accurate, said Adele, as Jenny gave her a handful of cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Valentines. The last was a huge one with a big red satin heart and a badge saying, Happy Valentine, love you lots, babe. Adele chuckled and pinned it on her top. Adele's got 5 Valentines, way more than anyone else in the whole dumping ground, I said. So she's the most popular girl, right? Adele doesn't properly count. She's not really a girl. She's nearly a grown-up and she's got heaps of boyfriends anyway, said Justine Pedant Littlewood. Louise got the most Valentines of all us kids, and I've got the prettiest Valentine because of all the silver glitter and the lovely verse. What have you got, Tracy Beaker? Absolute zilch. That's all you know, Justine Rubbish Littlewood, I said. Jenny still had a few cards left. Maybe one was for me. If Justine's dad had sent her a card, maybe my mum might just have decided to send me a Valentine. It would be a cool way for her to keep in touch. Maybe she'd write a special message. To my darling little Tracy, Happy Valentine's Day. See you very soon. Lots of love, Mum. Jenny kept handing out the cards. She held up the last one, giggling, because it was another one addressed to her. Don't look so desperate, Tracy Beaker. Look, she's nearly in tears. Boo-hoo, baby. Fancy getting in such a stupid state. No one would ever dream of sending you a Valentine, said Justine asking for a punch, Littlewood." "That's just where you're wrong," I said. I spoke slightly indistinctly. "Absolutely 100% wrong," said Peter. "I happen to know Tracy will be getting an enormous and very special card as soon as possible." "We don't count scribbly homemade efforts from little weeds," said Justine, crushing Littlewood. "She's not just getting a card, she's getting a Valentine's present," Peter declared. "She's getting it right this minute. Just you wait till you see what it is." He jumped off the bench and ran out of the room. Justine and Louise tittered together, while Mike went, "Ah," and Jenny went, "Sweet." "I bet that's what he's going to give her, a sweet," said Justine, scoffing Littlewood. "He'll probably have sucked it first." Peter came charging back, carrying something in a tremendously sellotaped brown paper bag. He thrust it at me triumphantly. "Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. What on earth would it be? A marble? A 10-pence piece? A pebble with a message scratched in biro?" I knew just how much Justine would jeer. "I think I'll open my parcel in private," I said, simply trying to save Peter's feelings. No, open it now," said Peter. "You wait and see, Justine. Tracy's got a fabulous Valentine's present." "So you're giving her a Valentine's Day present, are you, little Peety-weety wet the bed? Ah, how touching," said Justine, viper-tongue Littlewood. Peter's white face flushed raspberry red. "I don't wet the bed, Justine. And anyway, even if I did, Jenny says it's nothing at all to be ashamed of," said Peter. "Absolutely spot on, Peter," said Jenny, her nose still inside her Valentine's cards. "Come on, Tracy, open your present. We're all dying to see what it is." I could see there was absolutely no way I could sneak off and open Peter's wretched parcel in private. I decided to brazen it out. If Justine dared sneer, I'd pick up Maxie, shuggle him violently up and down, and then aim him in her direction. I struggled with my bitten nails to prise back the sellotape. It looked as if I might need bolt cutters. I improvised, biting my way in. I peeled back layers of crumpled tissues and stared at Peter's Valentine's present. "What is it then? Let us see," said Justine long-nosed Littlewood. I silently held it up. It was a beautiful gold locket in the shape of a heart. Real gold. The heart was huge, almost as big as my fist. A gold heart like that must be worth hundreds and hundreds of pounds. Everyone gasped. "Where on earth did you get that, Peter? You didn't nick it, did you?" said Louise. "Don't be ridiculous, Louise," said Jenny. She looked astonished too. "Where did you get the locket from, Peter?" she asked. "I've kept it hidden in a sock ever since I came here. It was my nan's," said Peter. He said it proudly, but his eyes filled with tears. He nearly always cried when he talked about his nan. "She used to wear it on Sundays. It had a chain to match, but I'm afraid it got broken. But the locket's still fine. Look, Tracy, you just press this little catch, see?" He demonstrated with his small finger, and the locket opened. There was a photo of an infant inside. A pale baby with little downy curls, big Bambi eyes, sticking out ears, and a very skinny neck. "That's me," said Peter unnecessarily. He edged up to me again, whispering so the others wouldn't hear. "Nan used to say I was her little sweetheart. Now I'm your Valentine's sweetheart, aren't I, Tracy?" I didn't know what to say. I remembered the time Mike and Jenny took all of us kids to a theme park, and I went on the roller coaster. My stomach felt exactly the same now. I was touched that weedy little Peter liked me enough to give me his nan's incredibly valuable locket, but all that sentimental sweetheart stuff made me want to throw up. "What do you say, Tracy?" Mike prompted me. I still couldn't speak. I held the gold locket in my hand and stared hard at the tabletop, praying that I wasn't about to succumb to an inconvenient bout of hay fever. Jenny put her arm around Peter. "It's such a sweet romantic gesture, Peter, but are you really sure you want to give your nan's very special heart to Tracy?" "Of course he's sure," I said indignantly. "Maybe you could give Tracy the heart just for today," Jenny persisted. "What kind of a rum deal is that?" I said. "Presents are meant to be permanent." "I want to give Tracy the heart forever and ever," said Peter fervently. Justine Hastermock Littlewood made silly whistling noises, rolling her eyes. Louise and the other kids copied her, but Adele smiled. "Ah, you're such a little gent, Pete," she said. "You're a very lucky girl, Tracy." I nodded, clutching my gold heart. Now you'll have to find a very special place to keep your heart, Tracy, said Jenny. It must be very valuable. I think I'd better pop it in the safe for the moment. No way! I'm wearing it, I said. For goodness sake, Tracy, you're the girl who's always losing everything, said Jenny. This week it was your pen, last week your swimming kit, and didn't we have to fork out for an entire new school bag for you last month? Of course I can't let you wear a real gold locket. Anyway, you haven't got a chain. I'll make a special chain. Oh, Jenny, please, it means so much to me. No one's ever given me such a special, incredibly expensive present. Apart from my mum, of course, I said, laying it on thick. Go on, Jenny, let her wear her locket, said Mike. All right, you can wear it at the weekends, Tracy, so long as you look after it ultra carefully. I haven't got the heart to argue with you anymore. Heart, get it? I tittered obligingly and sauntered off to manufacture my chain. Peter skipped along beside me, beaming so brightly his lips nearly met at the back of his head. Do you really, really, really like your Valentine's locket, Tracy? He babbled. Yes, I do. I'm going to wear it all the time, even at school. I'll get round Jenny somehow. I can't wait to show it off. It's so big. It must be worth a fortune. Well, to be absolutely truthful, it isn't really worth a fortune, Tracy. It isn't actually gold, said Peter, looking very worried. What are you on about? Of course it's gold, I said, holding the locket up. It's just gold-coloured, Tracy. My granddad won it for my nan at a fairground. You have to keep polishing it like crazy, or it goes a sort of green colour. But I've made it lovely and shiny now. It looks like real gold. You don't mind that it isn't actually gold, do you, Tracy? I minded terribly. I'd never owned any real jewellery before. None of the kids in the dumping ground had proper jewellery. Adele had sparkly studs in her ears, but they weren't real diamonds. Justine, tacky Littlewood and Louise just had yucky friendship bracelets. I so wanted everyone to envy me having a real gold locket worth a fortune. They'd all laugh at me if they knew it was a trashy old fairground prize. I couldn't let them find out. To me it's real gold, Peter, I said firmly, threading it on a piece of string. It didn't have exactly the right effect. I sidled into Adele's room while she was in the bathroom and had a quick rummage through her dressing table drawers. I came across just the job, a white broderie anglaise blouse threaded with thin red velvet ribbon. I wondered about asking, but Adele was still a bit knocked that I'd dressed up in her black high heels to be a Spanish dancer and had stamped a little too vigorously, and one of the silly heels fell off. She said I couldn't ever borrow her clothes again. I didn't want to borrow her whole blouse, just the red velvet ribbon running round it, but I still had a funny feeling she'd object. So I had a quick tug at the ribbon, and suddenly there it was, in my hand. I charged back to my room and tied it with the gold heart. It looked great. Oh dear, if only it were real solid gold and worth something. It looks lovely on you, Tracy, said Peter. Yes, it does, I said, smoothing the ribbon and stroking the heart. So we're really sweethearts now, Peter said eagerly. If you say so, I said. Oh, I do. I really love you, Tracy. He waited, his head on one side. Do you love me, Tracy? Oh, Pete, look, I'm not really into all that dopey lovey-dovey stuff. He blinked his big Bambi eyes, his lips starting to tremble. Don't look so stricken. It's not you, Peter. It's not personal at all. I'm never going to fall in love. I'm Tracy Beaker. I'm immune. Little did I know that sneaky baby Cupid was lurking in a corner, arrow poised, about to pierce my heart. I did a little tap dance downstairs, my gold heart bouncing on the end of the red ribbon. I paused at the window on the landing. You could see all the way down the drive to the gates at the end. I usually leant against this window and waited on Saturdays. I paused here today. Are you watching out for anyone? Peter asked delicately. I nodded. I'll wait with you, said Peter. He didn't have anyone to watch for, not unless his own Nan slipped down a celestial ladder from heaven and shuffled up the drive in her Dr. Scholl's. He was just keeping me company. I was watching out for my mum, of course. She's going to come and see me very soon. I might just have mentioned this before. Justine relentlessly evil Littlewood says my mum's forgotten all about me and isn't ever going to come and see me. But she is so wrong. And if she says it again, I'll punch her on the nose. Of course my mum's coming. Very, very soon. On Saturday. That's what she said when I last saw her. It was quite a long time ago, but I remember every single second so very clearly. Mum took me out, and we went for this incredibly posh meal. I couldn't believe the prices. It meant my mum thought the whole world of me. She let me order absolutely everything I fancied on the menu, with a double portion of French fries, and then 2 puddings, and then lots of little chocolates on a pretty saucer. It was the best meal I'd ever had. I didn't hang on to it for very long. I was so excited to see my mum that my tummy went fizz, 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 and I had to gallop in double quick time to the ladies where I was horribly sick. Mum was a bit cross with me then, and I don't blame her, because she'd forked out a small fortune on that meal, then I'd wasted it all. But she mopped me up and we went to buy a new top, because the one I was wearing got a bit splashed. It wasn't just an ordinary t-shirt from Primark. It was designer. Mum didn't flinch as she flashed her credit card. Then Mum took me to the cinema. I so hoped it was going to be one of Mum's films, and I'd see her acting at last, but it was just a cartoon film. It had a fairy tale princess in it, with long golden hair just like my mum though. And then Mum took me back to the dumping ground, and I had a very severe attack of hay fever. Mum told me I wasn't to make such a silly fuss. She'd come and get me for good as soon as she could get everything sorted, and meanwhile she'd visit me as often as possible. Next Saturday, I said, and Mum said, sure. She even called, see you Saturday, as she waved and went down the drive. So I waited. I thought she meant the actual next Saturday, but she didn't come. Then I realised she meant a Saturday. So I wait for her every Saturday, watching from the window to get the first glimpse of her. I stand at the window and stare out, concentrating hard. I stare at the gates and will Mum to walk through them. So I stared and stared and stared, and Peter stood beside me staring too. Then I heard Adele shouting that someone had been in her room messing about with her clothes, and I felt a little too prominent in my window-watching position. I scooted downstairs, Peter at my side, and went into our sitting room. Maxie was watching TV while still eating his breakfast toast. He was so absorbed watching some silly cartoon that he frequently missed his mouth, smearing butter all over his cheeks and chin. "Tracy's my Valentine's sweetheart," Peter said. Maxie grunted, unimpressed. "I think you should be Justine's sweetheart, Maxie. The minute she comes downstairs, run and give her a great big kiss. Rub your face all over her," I said. "Really?" said Maxie indistinctly. "Absolutely," I said, although Peter frowned at me. "Swap Shop's starting on the other channel," said Peter. "Let's watch that instead. It's good, isn't it, Tracy?" I shrugged. I didn't know any of the Saturday morning shows because of my weekly vigil on the stairs, but I'd heard some of the other kids talking about it. There was this funny little furry fox telling silly jokes, and there was some young guy presenter, Billy or Barry or... "Hi, I'm Barney." He was smiling straight out of the television, straight at me. His warm brown eyes shone, and his cheeky face lit up. I loved his funny monkey t-shirt. He looked like a big brother who loved falling around and making jokes, and yet he had big strong arms that could give you a hug, just like a dad. There was a twang in the room as that pesky little Cupid shot his arrow, and a thunk as it shot straight through my sweater and pierced my heart. Not Peter's Nan's not real gold locket, my own red thumping heart pulsing inside my ribcage. I sat down beside Maxie, even though I was risking getting a piece of chewed toast stuck to my ear. Peter sat neatly cross-legged on the other side of me. "This is a good programme, Tracy," he said. "I love Basil Brush, and I like Barney too. Do you like him?" "Yeah, he's okay," I mumbled. He was fantastic." Barney smiled as if he could hear us. "Who likes a hearty breakfast?" he asked, grinning. "Cupid." I snorted with laughter. "Did you get any Valentine cards today?" asked Barney. "I didn't," sob. "I got hundreds," said Basil Brush. "I know a lot of foxy ladies. Boom, boom." Barney sighed and rolled his brown eyes. "Here's a little Valentine verse just for you." He was looking straight at me. "Roses are red, violets are blue. Watch Swap Shop on Saturday, and I'll love you true." "I'll love you, Barney," I said inside my head. He nodded and gave me a wink, but our thrilling telepathy was suddenly obliterated by Justine Foghorn Littlewood barging into the room. shrieking with laughter over something stupid. Maxie hurled himself at her and nuzzled her neck romantically. He spread slime, snot, and soggy toast all over her head, hair, and sweater in a highly satisfactory fashion. She shrieked even louder. Mike came running, convinced she was being murdered. I wish. When he'd calmed her down, he stayed to watch Swap Shop with us. I used to watch Swap Shop when I was a kid, he said. And is that Basil Brush? He doesn't quite look the same. I'm sure his snout used to be more pointy. He looks a bit too cuddly now. Who's the scruffy guy with him? He used to be with Mr. Derek. Oh, Mike, you are hopeless. That's Barney. Justine and I think he's seriously cool, said Louise. How dare they? He was my Barney. Yeah, we like his funky little bit of face fuzz, said Justine leery-eyed Littlewood, mopping herself with a J-cloth. Hey, look, that girl wants to swap a karaoke kit for something else. Is she mad? I'd give anything for one. I'm going to phone in and offer to swap it for... What can I offer, Lou? I could offer my hair straightening kit now I've decided to go for a naturally curly look, she said. I could swap my rubber Dumbo for it, said Maxie. You're the Dumbo, Maxie. It's worth about 5 pence maximum after you've slobbered all over it, said Justine, spurn her sweetheart Littlewood. You've got to swap something of equal value. A karaoke kit is worth heaps. Do you want a karaoke kit, Tracy? Peter said. Of course I did. It would be so cool to plug it in and belt out a little number with proper musical accompaniment. Maybe I could even croon a ballad for Barney. Only what could I swap? My possessions were about as manky as Maxie's. All my books were wrinkly because I read them in the bath. My skateboard buckled that time I played Dodge 'em Dustbins. My CD player broke when I dropped it down the stairs. I'd lost my left flashing trainer and my right footy boot and both my rollerblades. I didn't have anything. And yet I so wanted a karaoke machine. I was sure I could sing better than the stars. It would be my chance to be discovered. Forget Amy, forget Lily. You're toast, Rihanna and Duffy. Tracy Beaker, singing superstar, is taking to the stage. My heart started thumping. I fingered my gold heart locket. It wasn't exactly real gold, but it looked like it. Jenny and Mike and all the other kids, except Peter, thought it was real gold and worth a fortune. Worth way more than a karaoke machine, but I couldn't swap Peter's heart. Could I? It wasn't Peter's anymore, though. He'd given it to me. I could legitimately do what I liked with it. Keep it in my treasure box, wear it on a ribbon, sell it to a jeweller, swap it. And it wasn't as if it was worth anything. Justine, out to outdo me Littlewood, was already begging Mike to lend her his mobile. Quick, quick! I need to get through to Swap Shop now, Mike. Louise and I are offering to swap her hair straightening kit. Are you okay with this, Louise? Said Mike. It's your hair straightening doodah. Yes, that's fine. Justine and I will share the karaoke machine, said Louise. That's what best friends are for. Sharing, said Justine, snatched my best friend Littlewood. I felt as if she'd punched me in the chest. My heart thumped. I suddenly put my arm round Peter. We're best friends, aren't we, Pete? I said. Oh, yes, Tracy, said Peter, his big eyes shining. Sweethearts and best friends. We'd like to share a karaoke kit, wouldn't we? I said. Peter nodded, a little less certainly. If only we had something brilliant to swap, I said. Something worth much, much more than a silly old hair straightening kit. Can you think of anything, Peter? Peter blinked, looking bewildered. Quick, quick! Justine's phoning already. We have to outbid her, I said urgently. Think, Peter, think. Have we got anything? I fingered the heart locket ostentatiously, meaning I practically thrust it in Peter's face. He gazed at it, a little cross-eyed. Well, all I can think of is my Nan's heart locket, he said. Yes, of course. Oh, well done, Peter. You're sure you don't mind? I gabbled, pulling him over towards Mike. Well, it's your heart locket now, Tracy. Don't you mind, said Peter. Of course I mind. Very much, I said. But we both know it isn't really worth anything. And it looks pretty, but it doesn't really do anything, does it? Not like a karaoke machine. I'll let you have first go if we can swap it. Hey, Tracy, what are you talking about? Said Mike. What are you saying to Peter? You're not saying you want to swap his Nan's heart. It's okay. It's not real gold. It's not like it's really valuable. Only they're not to know, I hissed. And I grabbed the phone from Justine long-winded Littlewood. Give that back. I haven't finished, she shrieked. You've had your turn. It's mine now, I insisted. Isn't that right, Peter? Hey, 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 said the guy at the end of the phone. Stop squabbling, you lot. Is that you, Barney? I said, hanging onto the phone, fingers superglued to the handset. No, sorry, I'm not Barney. Or Basil Brush either. Boom, boom, I said. Exactly, said the person. I'm Ben. I just work for the programme. Now, are you all one family? I've got Justine's name down, and Louise too. Are they your sisters? No way, I said. Take no notice of their pathetic offering. Whoever wants a boring old hair straightening kit? You certainly need one, Tracy Beaker. You look like your head's been plugged into a light socket, yelled Justine Big Gob Littlewood. Shut up, Justine, I bellowed. This is my turn, isn't it, Ben? I said down the telephone. If you say so, said Ben. I want to talk too, said Maxie, grabbing for the phone with his revolting sticky paws. No, get off, Maxie. Yuck. You're getting slurp all over my shirt. Stop it. Are you watching Swap Shop with a whole bunch of friends? Said Ben. Do we sound like friends? I asked, mega exasperated. More like deadly enemies. We live in this dumping ground. Tracy, said Mike. Children's home, if you please. And hurry up, that's my own personal phone and you're costing me a fortune. I'm trying to hurry up, I said. Listen, Ben, I've got this amazing gold locket. I just know the karaoke girl will want to swap for it. Are you sure it's your gold heart locket, Tracy? Asked Ben. It's not your mum's? Of course it's not my mum's. As if I'd want to swap it then, I said. No, it's a long story. My friend Peter gave it to me for Valentine's Day. Actually, but we both think a karaoke set would be way more exciting, don't we, Peter? I prodded him and he nodded, though his bottom lip was quivering for some reason. Well, if there's an interesting story attached to this heart, maybe you and some of your friends or deadly enemies might like to come along to Swap Shop Studio next week. You could show off your gold locket, Tracy. And I'll meet Barney. You'll meet everyone. Melvin, Basil Brush, Frosty the Snowman, Keith the Swapping Hamster, and Barney. I think it would be a great idea for all you guys to be on our skip full of kids. What? You and Peter and Justine and totally Louise and Maxie Littlewood, and any other Tracy of your pals in the children's home. Going to be on Swap Shop. You could try to swap a karaoke set for all of you. It was all my idea. Tracy, you've gone very quiet. You're still there, aren't you? Yes, I said. Can you just run that past me again, Ben? You're saying I'm invited to the studio to meet Barney, and I'm going to be, like, on television? Me, Tracy Beaker? I phoned up first. I should be picked to go on television. Pipe down, you lot, Mike bellowed. Would you mind handing me the phone, please? If any of you are appearing on television, then I need to be involved. Shush, the lot of you. He talked long and earnestly, sometimes nodding, sometimes shaking his head while we listened, holding our breath. Well, thank you so much. I'll email you all the details, said Mike, and he switched off his phone. We all started clamouring. He held up his arms for silence. Okay, kids, they want 6 of you there at the studios next week for the show. It's all fixed. Hooray! 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 We shrieked, jumping up and down. I went to hug Peter too, but he hung back, rubbing his cuddle hanky against his nose. What's up, Peter? Come on, be happy. We're going to be on television, I said, giving him a little shake. I'm not sure I want to be on television, he said, in a tiny voice muffled behind his hanky. Of course you do. Don't worry, you don't have to say anything. I'll say it all for you. Yeah, Tracy, big blabbermouth, said Justine Chic and Talk Littlewood. You can just shut up, Justine. I don't know why you're jumping up and down like a jackass because you're not going. Or you, Louise. I'm the one they invited. Me, Tracy Beaker. I get to choose my 5 companions. Get it? Stop shouting, Tracy, said Jenny, coming in from the kitchen with a baby on either hip. What were you all yelling about? What's going on, Mike? The kids are going to be on Swap Shop on the telly next week, said Mike, grinning. Oh, no, they're not, said Jenny. Oh, yes, we are, I said, sounding like we were doing a pantomime routine. No, Tracy, I'm sorry, but you can't be on television. There are all sorts of regulations about looked after children. We'd never get permission in time, said Jenny. Look, my mum's probably coming to see me this very Saturday, so we can get her permission today, I said. Now, Tracy, I know you'd love to see your mum, but you know she isn't really coming, Jenny said very quietly. Yes, she is so. Tracy, we're not even very sure where she is at the moment, said Jenny. She's in Hollywood. I keep telling you. Are you deaf or stupid? I yelled, hating Jenny. Ha ha ha, Tracy Beaker. You can't go, but I can, because I see my dad heaps, and he'd be over the moon to watch me on television, crowed Justine, impossibly hateful Littlewood. No, you're not any of you going. It's against the rules and would involve endless paperwork, said Jenny. Look, I've said they can go, and they're going, said Mike. Any other kid in the country can go on telly, so why can't they? I don't care if it gets us into trouble. I'm taking them, and that's that. We all fell on Mike, giving him huge hugs. But it was Jenny who battled with the phone calls and paperwork. I passed by her office and saw her simultaneously typing an email, talking on the phone, and jiggling a whimpering baby on her lap. The baby kept trying to hurl herself onto her head, just to add to Jenny's problems. That baby thinks she's a lemming, I said. Here, I'll take her, shall I? I scooped the baby up. She blinked at me in surprise, and then reached eagerly for the gold heart round my neck. Naughty, I don't want your tiny teeth marks all over it. It's my special swap for Saturday, I said. Jenny snorted and muttered a very rude word about swap shop. I wouldn't half get told off if I said that, Jenny. I can go on swap shop, can't I? I can't miss this huge big chance to star on television. I might get discovered, impress them so much they offer me my own kids' show. After all, acting's in my blood. Look at my mum, the famous Hollywood movie star. Oh, Tracy, said Jenny. She is, I said. Just you wait. She'll be coming for me any day now. Jenny nodded wearily. I waited, juggling the baby. Jenny? Yes, Tracy. You said you don't know where my mum is. Jenny reached out and stroked my arm. We've been trying to get in touch. Apparently she's moved on from her last known address. Because she's in Hollywood. Obviously, I said. We looked at each other. Right, said Jenny, sighing. Hey, I told you no biting, I said to the baby, who was drooling all over the heart. Tracy, about Peter's Nan's locket. It's my locket now. Yes, I know, but I don't think you realise that it's maybe very upsetting for Peter that you want to swap it straight away. But it's not real gold. It's not worth anything, Jenny, I promise. What about sentimental value? You're talking to me, Tracy Beaker. I'm not into sentiment, Jenny, I said briskly. I did pursue the matter a little further with Peter, though. I cornered him that night when we both had an occasion to go to the linen cupboard for clean sheets. You're sure you're okay about me swapping my heart locket, Peter? I said. Yes, that's fine, Tracy, he said, sniffling into his nanny hanky. It'll be so great to have a karaoke machine, won't it? I said. We'll sing a duet, you and me, Peter. That'll be fun, won't it? Yes, Tracy, Peter mumbled. I gently unhooked his hanky from his nose and prodded the corners of his mouth. Smile, then. He smiled obediently, so that was all right then. He wasn't smiling early on Saturday morning. He was crying. Oh, for goodness sake, Pete, what's up with you? This is our big day, I said, giving him a little shake. I've lost my hanky, he sobbed. What? Oh, give me a break. Get a tissue from the bathroom. No, it's my nan's hanky. It got mixed up in the sheets and they're all higgledy-piggledy in the laundry basket, and I can't find it, Peter wailed. I'm not sure I'd want to find it amongst a load of damp, smelly sheets, I said. Oh, cheer up, Peter. I'm sure Jenny will find it for you, and if she doesn't, she'll get you a brand new hanky. I don't want a new hanky. I want my old one that belonged to my nan, Peter wept. Now look, this is our big day. It means so much to me. I'm going to meet Barney and get a karaoke machine, so don't spoil it for me, okay? I said. Peter blinked at me, sniffling. I'm sorry, Tracy, he squeaked. He tried to smile again, even though the tears were still streaming down his cheeks. You're such a baby, Peter, said Justine, utterly lacking in compassion, Littlewood. Hey, Lou, do you think I look okay in this top, or should I change it? It's lovely, keep it on. But what about me, said Louise. I'm not sure about wearing pink. Is it, too girly? Excuse me, I said, as if that matters. No one will be looking at you. I'm the one doing the swap. You'll just be in the background, lurking. Pulling faces behind you, said Justine, can't ever be trusted, Littlewood. I can pull really scary faces, look, said Maxie, pulling his eyelids down and his nose up, grinning like a gargoyle. You're seriously scary all the time, Maxie, said Mike, pretending to cower away from him. Right, you guys, are we ready for the off? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where's Adele? Adele, come on. I'll get her, I said, charging up the stairs. I was worried she changed her mind. She said she didn't want to go on a silly little kids program, thank you very much. But she gave in to my pleading when she caught a glimpse of Barney's pal Melvin on the television. He looks kind of cute, she said. I love the way he does his hair. Okay, Tracy, if it means all that much to you, I'll come. If I feel like it on the day. Adele, please feel like coming. You're my best friend. You jolly well have to support me, I said now, barging into her room. Hey, I'm just putting on my makeup, said Adele. She looked incredible. Amazing outlined eyes, pearly lips, glitter on her cheeks, just like a fashion model. Oh wow, you look wonderful. Can I have some makeup too, Adele? Please make me up to look like you, I begged, although I was conscious of Mike downstairs bellowing at us to get a move on. You're not old enough for proper makeup, Tracy, said Adele. Just a speck of lippy, I pleaded. You're lippy enough already, said Adele. How about a splodge of red lipstick on your nose? The comic clown effect. It'll match your red velvet ribbon round your neck. She scribbled scarlet on my nose. I shrieked, but she took her tissue and wiped it straight off. Come on then, Tracy. You look just fine as you are, I promise, said Adele, ruffling my corkscrew curls. She was just staring at my customised locket chain. Why does that ribbon look weirdly familiar? I shrugged and rushed her downstairs hurriedly. Jenny and all the Littleys waved us goodbye and wished us luck. We all climbed into the minivan, and we were off. There was a 5-minute squabble about who was sitting where, everyone trying to steer well clear of Maxie, though Jenny had attacked him with an entire packet of wet wipes. Mike distracted us with a sing-song, and most of us joined in, practising for when I had my karaoke kit. Peter didn't sing very loudly. His voice was just a little mouse squeak. As we got nearer and nearer the studio, I found my tummy went tight, and all I could manage was a squeak. My heart was going thump, thump, thump. I was about to meet Barney and be on television, and it was so exciting, but oh so scary too. What if Barney didn't take any notice of me? What if I couldn't think of anything to say? I leaned forward and mumbled something of the sort into Mike's ear. You can't help noticing you, Tracy, and I've never ever known you at a loss for words, he said. We arrived at the studio and Mike announced to the doorman that we were Tracy Beaker and party. I loved that. I'm Tracy Beaker and you are my party, I sang. You're Tracy Beaker and you are so farty, sang Justine, very vulgar Littlewood. We all had to get signed in, me and my party, and then we were led to a dressing room. I wanted it to have Tracy Beaker Superstar on the door, but it just had a plain old number. Still, it was a very swish room, with a big mirror and 2 stylish sofas. Of course, this is pretty bog standard compared with my mum's dressing rooms, I said. She has white velvet sofas. They give her a new spotless one each week. And there's a chandelier and a white rug so soft she sinks into it up to her ankles. No one seemed to be listening to me, not even Peter. He was sucking his thumb, his chin on his chest. For goodness sake, Pete, you'll fuse all the cameras if you go into the studios with a face like that, I said. I gave him a little prod. I wanted him to prod me back. He didn't. He just bent over further, his knees buckling. Come here, little pal, said Mike, putting his arm round him. Don't worry about the hanky. I'm sure Jenny will find it for you, or we'll get you another special hanky. There isn't another one. Not one that belonged to my Nan, Peter mumbled around his thumb. It's all I've got left of her. Mike leaned over Peter's head, looking at me. Do you hear what he's saying, Tracy? He said. I didn't want to hear. My heart was still going thump, thump, thump. Then there was a knock on my dressing room door, and there was Barney. It's really you, Barney, I gasped. No, actually, I'm a cardboard cutout, he said, laughing. Hi, you must be Tracy. He picked me out. He knew me as soon as our eyes met. How did you know I'm Tracy? I asked, thrilled. Oh, you're just how I imagined, and maybe your heart locket gave me a little bit of a clue. Oh dear though, Tracy. It looks like a very special gold locket. I'm not sure we can let you swap it if it's really valuable. No, it's fine, Barney. It's not solid gold, I said hastily. It isn't really worth much, is it, Peter? Peter shook his head, his thumbs still stoppering his mouth. And we're all desperate to get that karaoke kit, aren't we, Peter? I said. Peter nodded this time, still mute. Well, we'll do our best to get it for you kids, said Barney. I think we're ready for you in the studio now. Come and meet Melvin and Basil. We trooped along behind him. I hopped and skipped until I was beside him, staring up at him, smiling and smiling and smiling. Are you excited about being on television, Tracy? Said Barney. You bet I am, I said. I tried fluttering my eyelashes at him. Have you got something in your eyes, sweetheart? Said Barney. Try blinking hard. It was blinking hard trying to concentrate. I couldn't take my eyes off Barney, and his soft hair, and his big brown eyes, and the little fuzzy down on his upper lip. My heart ached where the arrow had struck. We trooped into the studio and stepped over snaky cables to the brightly coloured set. There were guys dressed up as lions and tigers and bears, a big Frosty the Snowman, children milling around, and a huge tank full of lime green gunge. A swimming pool! Maxie yelled, hurtling towards it. Mike managed to rugby tackle him just as he was about to dive straight in. He's a game little chap, said Barney, chuckling. But what's up with you, little guy? He bent down to talk to Peter. Why are you all droopy-poopy? Don't you want to be on television? Tracy wants to be on television, Peter mumbled. And do you do what Tracy says, huh? Said Barney. Is she the boss? She's not my boss, said Justine, can't bear to be ignored Littlewood. Tracy is a bit bossy, said Peter, but I don't mind. She's my sweetheart. Ah, said Barney. I'm his sweetheart, but he's not mine, I whispered into Barney's ear. Barney nodded, though he didn't look as if he absolutely understood. But there was no time to elaborate, as we were being prodded into position for the start of the show. I had to sit on a special chair beside Barney, and Basil Brush popped up beside him. "Oh, it's a little doggy," yelled Maxie. "I am not a dog, little boy," said Basil Brush, giving him a poke with his pointy snout. "Why did the dog kennel leak, It needed a new woof. Bum, bum." "Silly doggy," said Maxie, unimpressed. "Quit being a pain, Maxie," said Justine, interfering Littlewood. She stood right behind my chair, and when I peered around at her, she was pouting at the camera in sick-making fashion. Louise was simpering too, and Adele was striking a pose, hand on her hip. Peter was standing a little apart. He reached for the bottom of his sweater and held it awkwardly up to his nose, rubbing against it. He was so hopelessly lost without his Nan's hanky. It was all he had left of her, apart from the locket. My own heart went thump, thump, thump. "We're on air in 10 seconds, said Barney. "Good luck, kids." My heart was thumping so hard I thought it would burst right out my sweater. The swap shop music started, and Barney and Basil chatted away, welcoming everyone to the show. "We're particularly delighted to welcome Tracy here, with all her friends." "And enemies," muttered Justine, can't shut up Littlewood. "Who live in a children's home, and very much want a karaoke machine to have fun with," said Barney. "So what have you got to swap, Tracy?" "I've got this very special, unique gold locket," I said, holding it up. "And who gave it to you?" said Barney. "My friend Peter gave it to me on Valentine's Day," I said. Justine and Louise made yuck noises behind my back. Peter put his hand up, trying valiantly to smile. "So you two are little lovebirds, said Barney. "What do you call two birds in love?" asked Basil Brush. "Soppy." "Bum, bum." "I think they're very sweet," said Barney. "So who gave you this lovely locket, Peter?" "It was my Nan's," Peter whispered. 2 tears spilled down his cheeks. "Oh, Peter, don't cry," I said. "I'm not crying, Tracy. I've just got hay fever," Peter sniffled. I looked at him. My heart gave such a thump I had to clutch my chest. What was the matter with me? Why were there tears in my own eyes? I was Tracy Beaker, tough as old boots. Why was I worrying so? The silly old locket wasn't worth anything. I couldn't kid myself any more. The locket was worth the whole world to Peter, and he'd given it to me. I can't do this, I wailed. I'm sorry, Barney. Please don't get mad at me. I know I'm wrecking your program, and I so want a karaoke machine, but I can't swap the heart. It's all Peter's got left of his nan now. It's maybe not actually real gold, but that doesn't matter. It's worth much more because it was so special to him, and yet he gave it to me. So now I'm going to give it back to him. Here you are, Pete. I took it off and handed it to him. Oh, Tracy, we wanted the karaoke machine, said Justine, no heart at all Littlewood. Well, maybe we can see if you can win a karaoke machine, said Barney. We've got our 3 teams set up to brave the dreaded Gundulator. How about you guys challenging the winners? Just the 2 of you. Let's see. Tracy and Justine. But we can't be in a team together. We're deadly enemies, I protested. There's no way I'm ever being part of a team with Tracy, said Justine. I'll be in a team with Louise. No, Peter and me will be in a team, I insisted. Count me out of any team. I'm not going in that green gunge, said Adele in horror. I'll go. I love green gunge, Maxie shouted. Hey, shush, you lot. Do you want to give it a go or not, said Barney. He grinned at me. He grinned at Justine. Go on, girls. Swallow your differences. I didn't want to let Barney down. I looked at Justine. She looked at me. We both swallowed. Then we nodded. So we sat and watched the rest of the show. Peter nestled right up next to me, the heart locket round his neck. You can have it back though, Tracy. It is yours, he whispered. We'll share it, Pete, okay? Now be quiet. I need to watch this game to see how it works. One kid got on the bed on a trolley. The other kid shoved the bed. They scored points the further it went. But if the shove was too hard, then the bed went right off the scale and the kid tipped straight into the green slime. We watched. We waited. We wondered. The Zebras team were defeated first, then the Bees. So we had to beat the Tigers, with a final score of 100. We'll beat that easy peasy, I said to Justine. Of course we will, she said. Good luck, Tracy, said Peter. Good luck, Justine, said Louise. Good luck, both of you, said Barney. Right, Tracy, get on the bed first. I got on the bed and Justine stood behind me. Watch what you're doing now, Justine. Don't be too feeble. Give a really firm push, but not too hard. Oh, quit bossing me, Tracy Beaker, Justine snapped and gave my bed a shove. I shot forward. I passed 50, then 100, 150. I was slowing now, and I so needed to slow. I pulled hard on the end of the bed, trying to brake, but it was no use. I was edging further and further forward. Past 200, past 250, past 500. Oh no, past 750, and then... Splash! I screamed and swallowed a bucketful of icy cold lime green slime. I struggled to my feet, shaking my head, while the whole studio collapsed with laughter around me. Right. I'd show that Justine totally did it on purpose, Littlewood. In 30 seconds, she'd be drenched in slime herself and see how she liked it. I heaved myself out of the pool, snorting slime. Justine was practically wetting herself. Oh, help! It's a green slime sludge monster. No, wait a minute. It's Tracy Beaker. You wait, I said as she clambered onto the bed, and I took charge of the controls. Remember, Tracy, you want that karaoke set? Barney called quickly. If Justine goes in the slime, you'll lose your chance of winning one. My heart went. You've got it. Thump, thump, thump. I so wanted to dump Justine in the green gunge the way she dumped me. But if I did, we'd lose our karaoke set, and I so wanted that too. Not just for me. Peter and I could sing our duets. I looked at Peter. Go for it, Tracy, he yelled. Yeah, crack it, girl, Adele shouted. Yes, 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 Maxie burbled. You can do it, Tracy, said Mike. Do it for everyone, Tracy, said Barney, giving me the thumbs up sign. I took a deep breath and gave Justine a sharp, edgy shove that sent her rolling. She went past 50, 100, 150, 200. She was yelling like crazy now, ducking her head, but then she slowed to a dramatic halt, spot on the 250 sign. We'd beaten the others. Yay! We'd won! Well done, Tracy. You've won the karaoke machine for you and all your mates. I knew you could do it, Barney shouted happily. I knew I could too, I said. My heart went thumpity thumpity thump, and I gave him a great big hug. So we've really won it, no matter what? No going back on it? Yes, really, said Barney. Great, I said. And before Justine, ever deadly enemy Littlewood, could get out of the bed, I gave it one more shove. She shot straight into the green gunge. That wiped the grin off her face.